Well, looky there, Kitty. We got company. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. I'm Tobias. This here's Kitty. She's the production staff. We're going to get the show on the road in just a second. If you like what you see, don't forget to leave a comment, give it a big old thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Kitty loves to hear that bell ring. Thanks a lot. Stick around for the show. Should be a good one. Let's get behind that camera, Kitty.
So I recently picked up a Queen City knife made by Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Now, before I show the knife, let me give a little bit of history behind the recent history of Queen City and Queen Cutlery in general. A few years back, Queen Cutlery was owned by the Daniels family, and it went bankrupt, and they basically had to liquidate. And at that time, that meant that the trademark for Queen Cutlery entered in basically like the public domain, and Smoky Mountain Knife Works picked up the trademark for both Queen and Queen City, and basically they had a certain length of time in order to produce a product using that trademark. Otherwise they would relinquish the trademark and someone else could pick up the trademark again and then start producing knives with it. And so a little bit ago they came out with the pilot test run of some Queen knives that most people assume were made by Bear & Son. These were made in the USA. Quality was questionable, but it was the pilot test run and they needed to get something out, so it was very much rushed. And now they have come out with a Queen City pocket knives, and in this case, from what you can see right here on the box, down in the corner, these are actually made in China. Everyone quickly noticed that they look very much like a Rough Rider, so they are probably made in the Rough Rider factory of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They have also since came out with a Queen City knife that is made in the USA. Again, it looks like a knife that was produced by Bear & Son. Not sure if that's the case or not. I have not picked up any of the Queen or Queen City USA made knives because, quite frankly, all they've made so far are trappers, and I'm just not interested in a Queen or Queen City trapper that is made in USA. Once they come out with something else that is made in USA, I will consider it. But I figured I would go ahead and grab one of these Queen City pocket knives that was made in China, mainly because it's got abalone handles, and I kind of like abalone. Okay, enough about Queen Cutlery. Let's take a look at the knife. Now, right away, people have been comparing this knife to a Rough Rider. And come on, it's a Smoky Mountain Knife Works house brand now. It's coming out of China. It's coming in a box that looks very much like the magnetic boxes that are used by Rough Rider. The only difference is it says Queen City here, and it's got a Queen City tank stamp. So why wouldn't you say, hey, it's just a Rough Rider with a Queen City tank stamp? Well, for the most part, I guess you could say that, but is it more than that? Well, let's take a look at a Rough Rider butterbean compared to the Queen City butterbean. So what we have here is a Rough Rider white smooth bone mini canoe. And if you notice here, well, look at the back springs here. 2 back springs, brass liners, nickel silver bolsters. Yes, the Queen City has a slanted nickel silver bolster, but you can find those on Rough Riders as well. 448 stainless steel blades. Both of them have 448 stainless steel blades. Notice the match striker pulls all around. This one has nickel silver pins holding on the bone. I think that's nickel silver. It's supposed to be brass, but it looks like nickel silver. This also is pinned on, though you do not see them, so there's hidden pins on the handles here, which is not uncommon when you're dealing with something like genuine abalone. So, superficially, you have to say it. that Queen City knife is very much like your typical Rough Rider knife. So why are you going to pay twice as much for the Queen City? So here we have my very first mini canoe by Rough Rider. I picked this knife up about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer ago than that. And what we have here is imitation abalone. And looks pretty good, doesn't it? Got a nice color to it, nice luster and everything. But let's compare it to the Queen City. Suddenly, it's not quite nearly as bright, not quite nearly as reflective. You can see the difference. This one just really has some fire going on with the reflection going on in the abalone and everything. And that's really the difference that you're seeing here. Now, some people have said that this is imitation. This is not imitation. This is genuine abalone versus imitation abalone. The original Rough Rider ones a while back came out in imitation abalone. These are genuine abalone. And not only is it genuine abalone, but it is pretty good quality genuine abalone, because we have here another knife that is genuine abalone, but as you can tell, it has a much thicker resin coating over the top of it. So you can see right down the middle there, it's kind of dull, and that's because of how thick the acrylic is over the top. You notice the pins on this Krieger stiletto pass through the abalone, and they actually have mounted a shield in there, but it's not actually cutting into the abalone. It is actually just all in this very thick layer of acrylic, and they have a thin slab of abalone underneath. Now, what it appears to have happened here on the Rough Rider, on the Queen City, is they have sandwiched the abalone in between two layers of resin. They said resin, I'm assuming it's acrylic, but if you notice, there's a line running through the middle there, and you can see where the pins are. See the pin reflecting there? You can also see, well, right there is where you can really see it. You can see the pin kind of reflecting there if the light hits it just right, but it does not appear in the abalone, as opposed to here where the pin definitely passes through. So what they've done is they have a layer of resin underneath, and then they have the abalone in there, and then they have a very thin layer of resin over the top of the abalone. So they've done just the reverse of what was done with this Krieger. One layer of abalone on the bottom, thick layer of acrylic on the top. But by putting the layer of resin, a thin layer of resin over the top of the abalone, you really get a much better reflection going on, and you can really see the character of the abalone. And I think that is the main difference between the Queen City knives and what you're seeing in the Rough Rider. The Rough Rider knives would not have had as much attention going on with that. And you can see the abalone looks really good, and that's really what it comes down to, is the attention to detail with the abalone. Also, obviously the blades, we should look at the whole knife. Blades are nice and tight, there's no wobble going on with it. I would say the pull on the main Spearmaster is probably like a 4 or a 5. It's not very heavy at all. And the pull on the smaller blade, the little pin blade, I would put that at like a 5 or a 6. It's definitely a little harder because it's a shorter blade. So, you know, it's the whole thought of a lever. You know, you've got the pivot point there, got that long back spring working against it. So you've got definitely a little more tension on the small pin blade. Definite good strong half stop. Definitely pops into position. And you've got a good space going on there. Definitely no contact with anything here. There might be a little bit of contact with the pin blade on the back. but it is not doing that annoying scratch thing that you see on mini canoes or mini canoes also. On most canoes or these small canoes, let's put it that way. So there's no blade rub happening on this knife, which is really good. And action is really quite nice. Current Rough Riders also have a half stop happening with them. These earlier small mini canoes that they have, there is no half stop. It's just a lazy stop at the top. It doesn't pop to the position, but they're also quite well made. Definitely tight. But sometimes you do have some blade rub on the Rough Riders. Now, I don't know if other ones of these Queen City ones have a rub or not. I know mine did not, but really what you're buying here for the $25 is the Abalone, and that really looks good. I believe there's 6 different knives in this series. I think I'm going to pick up one other one. They have the little small cub lockback that is also in the Rough Rider lineup that they've done in this knife, and I think I'm going to grab that one too. It runs for the same price. I don't know if I'm going to buy the other 4 knives in the series, but those 2 I'm definitely going to go ahead and grab. And I think they're definitely well worth the $25. I do believe that if this tang stamp read Rough Rider instead of Queen City, it would have probably gone for about 20 bucks instead of $25. But also, if it said Rough Rider instead of Queen City, they would have put that annoying big old R on the bolster, and I would not have bought it even with this quality of abalone. So I'm happy with the knife, and like I said, I'm going to pick up at least one other knife in the series, the Cub Lockback. Stick around for some slides, but yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. And do I hope that Queen City returns to the US? Yes, but at the same time, I'm quite happy with the ones that were made in China, and I think they are a quality product.
Thanks again for dropping by here at Knife Chats with Tobias. I'm Tobias, and here's Kitty, the production staff. There is a real team working here to get all this stuff done. Could not get it done without Kitty's help. So don't forget to subscribe, ring that notification bell, give us a thumbs up, or that other one, but be warned, Kitty doesn't like that other one. Do you, Kitty? And don't forget to leave a comment. Kitty loves to read the comments.
Thanks again. Talk to you again soon.